friends, this is Hedda. I've been both very excited and very nervous to make this video because my previous reading journal video is my most viewed video ever, but it's almost a new year and that means making a new reading journal, so here we go. Whether you're having a good day or not, let's take a few minutes to talk about books and reading and journaling and have a good time. For the past 2 years, I've used a lined notebook from Rustico as my reading journal, but this year I'm moving into a new notebook from Archer and Olive. I've only used it for some swatches so far, so it's time it got some proper content. This past year I've been collecting stickers with books and other art that fits the reading journal aesthetics, and I'm really excited to finally use them. I've had them sitting in the back pocket of this notebook for ages so that I wouldn't be tempted to use them in my bullet journal instead. I'll link all the creators and small businesses who made these stickers in the description box. This Archer and Olive notebook is a completely different type of notebook than my previous journal. It has dot grid instead of lines, it has thicker paper, it's 160 GSM, while the Rustico one was 80 I think. Also, this notebook has a combination of white craft and black paper, so I think I'll be properly challenged while using this notebook. I'm actually going to start this journal in November rather than in January because, like I mentioned in my previous video, I'm going to the US for a bit with my partner and I didn't really want to bring my old reading journal with me. I mean, I'm bringing my bullet journal and starting a new one in January, but it's a little bit different. So on the bright side, I'll get to start using this reading journal a lot earlier than planned. I'm starting with a kind of cover page, which I thought would be a fun way to start the journal. What I love about making your own journal, whether it's a bullet journal or reading journal or a travel journal, is that there are no rules whatsoever. So I'm starting with a cover page and I'm making a little collage with a mix of washi tape, scrap paper, and stickers. One of my amazing patrons, Kristen, sent me a birthday present with a card and everything, and she put in this lovely sticker from Paperaicastudio, which I think is fan art of Belle from Beauty and the Beast. I could be wrong, but the dark hair and yellow dress on the book makes me think of Belle, and she's the perfect Disney princess to put on the cover of my reading journal, don't you think? I'm titling it Reading Journal, and instead of putting 2022 on there, I'm instead writing November 2021 until whatever month it's full. I could fill it up in a year, or I could fill it up in 2 years, or however many months. It doesn't really matter. I have to give a huge shout out to my pen pals for providing me with so many beautiful brown and tan colors of washi tape because they were perfect for this setup. After finishing the cover page, I moved on to my index spread, which I know it's very 50-50 if people like using them or not. I find that I don't really need an index in my bullet journal, but I like having it in my reading journal. I don't even know if there will be enough room here for the entire journal, but I guess I'll find out eventually. I try not to be too particular about this journal because this is not a journal that is essential to my everyday life. This is purely for my enjoyment type of journal. I want to record my thoughts about books that I read and have a place to write down recommendations. I'm guessing that some of those who clicked on this video may not even know what a reading journal is, and I think that reading journals are different for everyone. For me, it's a place to record books that I'm reading and a place for me to write down books I'd like to read, and also a place for me to reflect on the books that I've read. So what you're seeing here is me setting up kind of the main spreads of the book, but after reading a book, I'm making a spread for it where I write down things that I liked about it, or thoughts that it gave me, or feelings I felt while reading it. And this is the very personal part that I think will be different for everyone. I actually tried introducing some green to the spread, but I didn't like how it looked with the sienna brown fine liner, so I covered it with a piece of paper and moved on with my life. Green on the stickers was completely fine though. I'm definitely keeping this journal the same style that my previous journal was. I think it just makes sense to me, I guess. It seems fitting for a reading journal. This next spread is a very important one, maybe the most important to me. It's a visualization of my to be read list or books to read list. I'm on Goodreads, but I rarely update it, maybe every other month or so. But instead I have this to be read table in my journal, and I'm actually making 2 of these because somehow they fill up so fast. In my previous reading journal, I placed all the book covers neatly next to each other, but this time I decided to let them bounce around a bit, if that makes sense. I made a border around the books to give the spread a little bit of structure, since the books will be kind of chaotic. I mean, I'm a bit sad I can't control which colors authors make their book covers, so yeah, there's a lot of colors in this spread. My collage is actually super simple. I made sure to always combine craft paper, washi tape, a piece of old book paper, and a sticker to most of the compositions, I guess I could call them. This way there's a lot of variety, and I can easily make them look different by ripping a different shape or using different colors and different stickers. I also really like cutting pieces of washi tape into thinner strips and layering them around the border, and that way I can still use washi tape on parts of the spread that doesn't have as much room for decor. The books are in no particular order. I actually thought more about color than the books' titles in the spread because there was just so much blue and I wanted to spread it out a little bit. Between filming this video and finishing it, I've actually already read Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. I filmed a lot of videos in October because of my move, and I love listening to audiobooks while filming videos since I don't have to worry about sound in videos where my face isn't visible. So those will be the first books recorded in this journal. We'll just pretend I read them in November instead of October because it makes my life easier. In my previous 2 reading journal videos, I got a lot of questions about the book covers. Some people thought I had stickers of book covers, but I just printed them out. I'm using Pages now since I'm on a Mac, but when I was in university I used Word. Basically you just import the pictures into Word or Pages, and then you change the width of the picture in the picture formatting section. You change the width to whatever you want. I'm using 2 centimeters here. That is 4 boxes in a 5mm dot grid notebook. And then I just print them out on my OfficeJet printer. So nothing fancy. You could of course print them out on sticker paper if you wanted to, but I'm just using regular paper. To differentiate between the 2 spreads that I'm making here, I put the books to read title on the bottom part on the second spread instead of on the top. It's a very simple trick, but it makes the spreads look different, and it kind of signifies the end of this double spread, if that makes sense. And here I just want to casually mention that I am an affiliate with Archer & Olive, so if you are interested in purchasing your own notebook from Archer & Olive, or notepad, or brush pens, or paint markers, or anything like that, they have lots of fun stuff, then you can use my discount code mochibujo10, which gives you 10% off your order, and I earn a small commission from that. So that's a great way to support me if you are going to buy something anyway. I can really recommend this Neapolitan notebook. It is very fun that it has different colored paper, and I am very excited to explore more of that in this journal. This might sound weird, but this next spread was my most used spread in my old reading journal, and this is my reading recommendation spread. This is where I write down recommendations for books that my friends give me. My friend's son, which you'll know if you watched my other 2 reading journal setup videos, she's very good at giving me good recommendations. Sometimes I don't follow her recommendations, but when that happens I usually understand why she told me not to read a book. So my conclusion is she's always right, and I'm just a bit stubborn sometimes. Last year you guys gave me lots of great recommendations as well, and I enjoyed reading a lot of the books that you recommended. So again, feel free to put your reading recommendations in the comments. I'm definitely a big fan of young adult fantasy novels, can't really get around that. Also, I am Norwegian, so there is something in my genes that just draw me to crime novels, but I haven't read any good ones recently. In the middle of making this, I of course ran out of glue tape, so I had to go get some more. For some reason, it was very hard to find any. I stopped by like 4 bookstores before I found it. But anyway, I got more glue tape, although I had to buy a brand I don't like, but beggars can't be choosers. This video had to happen. Because I am anticipating a landslide of new recommendations from Sun after she sees this video, I've made 2 spreads for reading recommendations so that I'll have room for her recommendations, your recommendations, and other friends' recommendations. If you need a little pointer to the kind of books I like, I really love The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid, Speak No Evil by Uzodinma Iweala, The Poppy Wars by R.F. Kuang, and Kafka on the Shore by Haruki Murakami. Those are only a few, but it might give you a pointer. If you're wondering how this table will work, I'm intending for the column in the middle to have the book title and author, and then the column to the right will be who recommended it, and the smallest column to the left will be for me to cross off the books that I've read. In my last journal, I just had a list where I ticked off books, and I think this one will give me a bit more structure, and it will be nice to actually remember who recommended it to me. I still have some books in my recommendations list from my previous journal, but I forgot to write them down or take a picture of them before I packed my reading journal down into a box and put it in my parents' attic. So that's too bad. I will try to remember some of them, but it might be a little bit difficult. So I need new recommendations. That's another way of saying that, I guess. I think it's really great that more and more people are making reading journals. When I made my very first reading journal for 2020 and made a video for it, there weren't really that many videos about it, which was why I made one in the first place, because I thought that there weren't enough information on YouTube and I couldn't really find any videos with spreads that I thought I would use. So that's why I made my own video, and I think people liked it. I wasn't really sure if I would do a reading tracker this time or not. I did it for 2020, I didn't do it for 2021, and I think these kinds of trackers only work if you're not too strict about them, because I'm not going to open my reading journal every day that I read, most likely, knowing myself. So putting too much pressure on this tracker just isn't going to work. I know myself by now. But if I don't make it too serious, I think it will be kind of fun to look back on. So I made 2 big tables here, one for November and December, which are the 2 columns all the way to the left, and then one for the whole year of 2022. And so here I can cross off or make a pattern or do something for every day that I read. And I'm including audiobooks here because I listen to a lot of audiobooks. It's probably my favorite pastime. I really like multitasking. I mean, I think it's mostly that I fidget if I watch a movie or a TV series or something. I can't really just sit there and watch it. I have to do something with my hand. So I've like been playing Sudoku on my phone or just like fidgeting on my phone while watching a show. But if I listen to an audiobook, I can do something that actually has meaning while I listen to it. So I can draw, or I can, make a nice journaling spread, or I can clean or go for a walk or something like that, and I can feel like I am doing something meaningful while enjoying an audiobook. Yeah, maybe it just means that I have issues with concentrating on just one thing at a time. I don't know, but it's why I love audiobooks so much. I'm gonna skip ahead 1 page because I might make a challenge for 2022, but I haven't really decided yet. So if you are doing a reading challenge for 2022, let me know, because I'd love to learn about a new challenge. And now we've come to the very last spread I'm going to make in this video. This is going to be my cover page for November. It might seem strange to make a cover page for the month in a reading journal, but the idea for me is that I make a cover page for the month and I write down which books I read for that month, and then on the following pages I'll have one spread dedicated to each book that I read. I really wanted to do one of these mixed spreads, one white page and one craft page, because this is what the Neapolitan notebook is all about, just mixing the colored pages. I'm not sure if I like the red. When looking at it now, I could have easily gone with orange or something, but I picked red and it's fine. I definitely made my November spreads kind of match my November spreads in my bullet journal, but usually I like to keep my reading journal themes a little bit different. Some months I have more than one idea for a theme. And then it's nice to be able to do both. I can do one for my bullet journal, which is my main theme, and then I can just do something simpler for my reading journal or something super extra. It is the first time I've put an envelope in my journal, I think, and I really like it. I think it turned out pretty cute. A little random, maybe. I was just kind of doing whatever made sense, and because the November reads is on this little library card in the envelope, I had a lot of room for decor, so I decided to cover most of the craft paper page with a quote by Alexander Fraser, which just reminds me of Outlander. So that's kind of weird, but it says, "Fear not November's challenge bold, with books and friends and hearts that never can grow cold, these make amends." And I just thought it was pretty nice because yes, November is a cold month, and it is the month where everyone just likes to get cozy and sit inside with a book and a fireplace if you have one. At least that's what we do in Norway because it's freaking cold. It might seem unnecessary to have this page in here, and it kind of is. It doesn't really have a point to it, but neither does cover pages in bullet journals or having a million trackers. You know, it's all about your own preference, what you want to put in your journal, and this is what I want to put in my reading journal. It's kind of a personal project that doesn't have to become a product. It doesn't have to become a side hustle. You know, reading can be simply enjoyment, and that's really important to me. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you watched it all the way to the end, please put some kind of book emoji in your comment. If you have any questions regarding reading journals, you can put them in the comments. I'll try to answer them as best as I can. If you'd like to see more reading journal videos, let me know, because so far I've only filmed the yearly setup, but if you'd like to see more, let me know. As I'm recording this, it is 1:30 a.m. and when this goes live, I'll be getting ready to go to the US for my first travel since 2019. So that'll be interesting. Wish me luck. I also want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons over on Patreon for supporting me every month. It means a lot. I'm very excited for the journaling kit and printable sticker sheets that I'm making for this month because December is going to be super cute. I already have lots of plans. And speaking of patrons, Kristen, who I mentioned earlier, she sent me this notebook cover that's from Archer and Olive. It was in one of their subscription boxes, and I figured it would be perfect for my reading journal. So here it is on my journal. It does make it pretty big, but it's also kind of nice. What do you think? Alright, that's all for now. I hope that you're all having a lovely day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!